Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover. Man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet, Miami, Florida, and we're starting off strong as we've got a nodding star making its way out of the mouth of Haulover with some brave bow riders in the front of the boat. Let's see how they fare, and it's not going to be good. Our girl goes down hard almost immediately. They don't even make it to the mouth of the inlet, but right here we come up. She goes over the wave, gets airborne, smacks down on the sea, and then winds up on the floor. And to top it off, if you look closely, you're going to see the actual piece that was holding the bimini top on popped off as well to show you just how hard they wound up hitting. Here you'll see as they come down, the bimini top breaks free. Our girl's on the floor. It is just an absolute mess from the beginning. And our crew, of course, goes ahead and pulls that patented Haulover U-turn. It's a rough day out here today. Definitely a little rougher than what we want to see a deck boat like this trying to go out in. I mean, you can see the white cap slightly off in the background. And our crew's going to limp their way back into the sandbar and unfortunately limp their way back in with a loss for the boats here in the first round. And this will bring us into the second round of our contest with Haulover up 1-0 early. And here in the second round, we're going to feature a Blazer Bay stepping in the ring to try and do battle with Haulover. Now, this is a little bit more of a flats boat setup, which makes it kind of at a disadvantage, especially on a rough day like today. But our crew is going to lay into the throttle, try and power their way out, even with two people in the bow of the boat. And they look pretty good. With that throttle up, they're able to stay on top of the waves. They're keeping the bow up, but here they'll start rolling into some of the rollers, which are going to pound them down a little bit and actually cause them to have to back off the throttle just a little bit. And here you can see from the BVH Skycam that it's actually a whole lot rougher than it looks from our camera that we shoot from over on the jetty. This crew's doing their best to try and pound their way out, but it doesn't take long before they realize it's rougher than they want to be out in, and they start working their way back toward the mouth of the inlet. In fact, it's rough enough you can see our crew that was sitting in the chair up in the bow has decided that was too rough as well, and they've started standing up. Now, Cap's definitely taking the cautious approach as they try and come back in, which is the approach he probably needs to take with a boat with this shallow of freeboard. But you can see by the water being kicked out of the back of the boat actually took on a fair amount of water as it was coming out of the inlet. You can see the young lady using her foot to kick the water out, but right here, she winds up losing her shoe. As she's doing so, she does look up to the Cap and like, hey, I lost my shoe. But it's so rough, he's like, yeah, that shoe is gone. And speaking of being gone, your chances of a win are gone as well. And this boat will wind up taking a loss for the boats in the second round also, which means we move into the third round of our contest with Haulover up 2-0. The boat's got to get back into the contest, and here we go. We've got a Concept 23 making its way out with Granny up in the front, which is an absolutely terrible idea. Captain's having to take it slow. They're taking little bouts of water over the bow of the vessel, and there's no way this one ends good. So the crew starts to pick it up just a little bit as they get going, but they can't go too fast with somebody up in the front, and Cap's gonna have to take it easy as they work their way out, and Granny winds up wet. Man, Granny gets soaked by a wave coming over the front of the boat, and unfortunately I'm going to have to give this one to Haulover as well, and that means Haulover's going to take the victory in this one. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well, and of course we've got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.